Good morning and happy Friday. We are back with you, Casey, Meredith, and Jason here on the Edmentum, Illinois YouTube channel. As you can see, we're a little bit light here. We typically have a guest or a couple of guests. However, we wanted to take this week, seeing that it is the week right before so many schools across Illinois begin their winter break. We thought it would be a nice opportunity just for us to reflect a little bit on some of the things that we've learned as we've been talking with folks throughout the first semester. So I'll send it to you first, Meredith. What's maybe been something that kind of resonated with you, that stuck with you as we've talked with so many educators here this first semester?
Wow, it's tough to narrow it down to one thing because we have met with so many incredible educational leaders so far this year. So to me, though, I think there were some key themes probably in all of them. And I think just the idea that every single student matters, right? And, you know, all of the different and incredible ways that all of these leaders are trying to make sure that whether you are a star football player or incredibly shy person who's very introverted, that, you know, there are people in the building who are connecting with you to make sure that you know you matter. And I just think that that is just so incredibly important if you want kids to show up to school. So on that note, I'm going to turn it over to Casey and ask you what was one of the main things that you took away.
I like how you phrased yours as being a thematic connection. And because of that, I'm going to go relatively back to the beginning of this school year when we chatted with the team who wrote The Unfinished Leader. We had Nick Poliak, PJ Capozzi, Mike Lubefeld on to talk about that book, but also what they were reading. But the fact of that, or the focus of that book, which was you're not trying to be the best version of you, but rather the next version of you, the next iteration, right there, that lended itself quite well to SEL components, professional SEL components, but also to your point on the theme, whether you're a student, a teacher, administrator, if you think in those attainable steps of being the next version of yourself, you're more likely to reach the higher heights that you might have set for yourself, but not have reached if you were always trying to be the best version of yourself. So I'm going to take it there. That really stuck with me. How about you, Jason?
Yeah, for me, I think it was, thanks, Casey. I think for me, it was just really the concentrated efforts that so many of our guests have right now in their districts or in their buildings, really looking at culture and in particular, looking at social and emotional learning. It really makes my former school counselor heart grow three times bigger. I forget what it is in the grade. The idea of, again, same things with what you guys are talking about here, really focusing on relationships, showing kids that you care about them, so that in that way they really want to be in the building every day, or even if they're not in the building every day, they want to continue to strive to really give their best effort. And so much of that starts with just taking care of kids as people first before anything else.
So have you manifested any of those into maybe, I don't know, professional New Year's resolutions, Jason?
Oh, I didn't know we were, okay. Yeah, I like that, Casey. I would probably say, going in line with what you were just talking about, as far as that next version of yourself, I really think that what I want to do is concentrate and really take ownership of my own professional development, just to find different ways to improve professionally within our organization, look for new and different ways to lead, but also just to be a collaborative team member. So I'm really going to be focused on driving that here as we get into 2022. What about you, Casey? What about a New Year's resolution for you from a professional standpoint?
So I'm going to take baby steps. That's one of my things. That's one of my resolutions. I have been guilty of trying to be that kid in the meme who's taking 4 steps at a time on the staircase in his house, and I need to do 1 step at a time. maybe even just 2 and not all 4. So with that in play, I have been reading a number of the books that have been discussed on here. Right now I'm reading How to Be an Anti-Racist and so on. But those are kind of things that you work on yourself to improve day to day on. Another piece is program management skill sets. I may one day endeavor to get that certificate, but right now, just the principles of program management, if I could start to instill those in my day-to-day activities, A, I'll be more organized, but B, I think I'll be more focused on outcomes along the way. How about you, Meredith?
I love it. And I love your analogy of the taking 4 steps. I was exactly the same way as a kid. I don't do that so much anymore because I'd probably injure myself, but I literally did that. For me, one activity that I know a lot of people do is they pick a word, and that's kind of their word, for the year. Maybe, you can print it out, you can paint it, you could do something creative, which I haven't done. So I think I'm going to think of a word. Right now, if I had to pick a word, it might be, I think, reflection. And from a number of standpoints, I think sometimes I'm so just grinding through the day today that I don't always take time to sit back and reflect. Reflection from a standpoint too, that I'm also a person who's a bit of a perfectionist and can be my own worst critic. Mm-hmm. So also trying to, when I do something that I think is not the way I wanted to do it, or it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, instead of just beating myself up over it endlessly, I'm going to allow myself to take some time to reflect, learn from it, and say, this is what I would do different next time, so that I can hopefully let go of that self, negative image or whatever I have that I'm holding on to. So I think that's where I'm headed. Still need to think about it a bit, but.
Well, now not only are we getting here to the new year, but we're getting, of course, just the holiday season in general. And Meredith, I know that for me, I do a lot of reflecting around this time of the year, every year. So I'll be right there with you as I'm thinking about, how I want to improve professionally here going into the new year. We want to thank all of our guests who have been with us on the Edmentum, Illinois YouTube channel throughout the first semester. Gosh, we've had just so very many, and for all of you who are out there watching this, we're still looking for guests for second semester. I think right now we've got folks that are in line all the way through February, but we still need folks for March, April, and May. So if you would like to jump on with us, we would love to have you. So the door is always open. Please send me a message on Twitter. Send me an email, whatever's easiest for you, and we would love to get you on an upcoming call. And we truly want to wish you a joyful holiday season with your family and friends. We wish you health and wellness and safety, during what's still a different type of a time right now. So we wish you all the best from us to you. So on the count of 3 here, we're going to say happy holidays. So 1, 2, 3.
Happy holidays. How do we do?
See you, everybody.